brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. Mornings at the Cabin.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. Ollie and Lecter with you. Welcome along. Mornings at the Cabin. Thursday morning. 9 degrees outside. Lecter, I think it may never freeze again. I think we've done it. We've cracked it. We've seen winter off. It's spring.
We're just Vancouver North now.
Oh, don't say that. That's an immediate bad spin on what was going to be a positive break.
Oh, apologies.
We don't want to be Vancouver, do we? Do we?
I mean...
They got some nice buildings.
I like Vancouver.
They've got like an average to good hockey team.
I never lived there, so I feel like I still harbor like mostly positive feelings about it.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been there a few times.
Yeah.
Happy memories.
It's lovely.
Yeah. But I wouldn't want it to be Yellowknife.
No.
You know, they could be Yellowknife South.
Okay.
I'm happier with that.
I'll take that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, if you don't mind rain, the weather forecast is absolutely amazing for the next 7 days. Yeah, it's gonna rain today. Yeah, it's gonna rain a little bit in the future. Yeah, it's cloudy for the next week. If you're here for the aurora, well, you can't be a tourist because you're not allowed in. So you live here anyway, so you don't really mind if it's cloudy for the next week. You got plenty of opportunity. You can't go anywhere. So yeah, there's got to be some cloud. But look, 12 degrees today, 11 degrees tomorrow, 10 degrees across the weekend. It's not even going to get near freezing any evening. If you've already left your plants out and they somehow survived that couple of days of frost back then, they've got at least another week left in them. It's glorious. And you know what? As you might be able to tell, I have made the best pot of coffee in my whole 3 weeks of making coffee, and boy, am I ready to go this morning.
What are we drinking today?
Well, it's still just the coffee that I have. What's it called, like Kicking Horse or something like that? I don't know.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
Seattle's finest.
Well, there you go. That's close enough to Vancouver, isn't it? Maybe we're the Seattle of the North. This is KACL. I'm listening.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast.
Better than Ezra, desperately wanting. Mornings at the Cabin, 7:12 on your Thursday morning. Ollie and Lecter with you. You know who's worse than Ezra? Smash Mouth. Smash Mouth are worse than Ezra. And let's just, yeah, here we go. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't it? So, this is redolent of Smash Mouth. Oh, little twinkle there. I like that.
Ooh.
This is by Lullaby Teddy. And this is their cover
that tracks.
of, I think you might recognize, All Star by Smash Mouth.
Why are we playing Smash Mouth, you might ask yourself?
Why are we playing an instrumental of Smash Mouth? Why are we not talking over the lyrics of Smash Mouth? Well, Lecter, fill us in.
As pretty much anything that Smash Mouth involves themselves in these days, they posted a tweet that is now spread fast like a viral infection, saying to a San Francisco-based radio station the other day on Twitter, "Yo, at Alt 1053 Radio, can you stop talking over the bleeping songs? This isn't 80s AM radio. You're disrespecting the artists. Do you think they want your stupid voices as their intros? That's one of the reasons All Star, this song, not this version, starts off with vocals." And then for some reason they kind of morphed into Don Cherry at the end and threw out, "Let's go!" at the end there. I'm not really sure why. Hashtag Bay Area Unite.
Smash Mouth. I mean, look, Lecter, in some cases they have a point. In some cases. There are certain tracks, the intro you don't talk over.
Yes.
There are certain tracks. One I would immediately say is The Who, Baba O'Reilly.
Okay, yeah.
I just like to let that intro go. That intro to me is golden. I love little twinkly bits and intros. Frankly, this whole song right now is just doing it for me. But
this is a great, lovely little morning,
isn't it?
Wake up, version.
Well, I was actually thinking, if and when I have kids, this is what they're going to sleep to every night. And then I will pay for the therapy bills later in life. But I just want to be able to do this because this every night. Good night, kids.
So as you might imagine, the radio industry is all abuzz about this.
Oh, yeah, I can
this
imagine.
is one of the things you are taught in radio.
That you're supposed to do.
Yes. Talking over instrumental intros.
Yeah.
It's called hitting the post, for those who don't know, which is when you nicely talk over the intro, you introduce the song, and you go out just as the vocals start. It sounds nice and tight. It's like one of those, here's a trophy for doing this properly, things in radio. Smash Mouth apparently doesn't like that.
Nope, not at all. And when I say that there are some intros that you shouldn't talk over, and I'm sure we can all think of song intros that we love, let's be very clear. Smash Mouth's intros are not on that list.
I mean, Walking on the Sun. That's a great intro to talk over.
Yeah.
That's a lovely one. It's like nice and kind of, under the surface, kind of bubbling.
Yeah, got to talk right over that.
And then all of a sudden the vocals kick in. Like, it sounds great when you hit the post on Walking on the Sun.
Well, hold on. Let's just let Lullaby Teddy just have its final moments here. Just letting it go. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lullaby Teddy. That's exactly what we needed. And you know what's even more exciting about that? I'm relatively sure Smash Mouth get no royalties for that.
Hey!
Whatsoever.
And we didn't want to enrage them further by talking over the actual song with the lyrics.
Oh, imagine if we'd done that.
Yeah.
They'd be furious. They'd have tweeted us next.
And lullaby them back to sleep because, Smash Mouth can, feel free.
Smash Mouth, who listened to commercial radio for the first time yesterday. And now, online radio is doing exactly the same thing. Oh, Smash Mouth, you can't win. We're going to talk over your Spotify streams next. You're going to love it. Here's Alice in Chains. Maybe we'll talk over their intro a little bit. Let's have a listen. Here you go, look. There's a solid 23 seconds left of this lecture, and we're going to use every available moment of it because, you know what, this intro is not an all-time classic intro. Nice song, all the same.
Nice intro to talk over.
Yeah, we'll talk over this, and this is a prime example of what we're talking about with hitting the post. We're not going to go too long. We're not going to go too short. Basically, I'm going to stop talking, and at just about the time that Alice gets out of those chains and begins to sing for the first time, Sarah Sibley has news next.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast, where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
So yesterday, speaking of cool cats, a group of cool cats congregated around these microphones and in ultra hipster fashion. And I tried to rein them in a little bit, but it was also really my fault, and I ended up just jumping on the bandwagon. Everybody here basically concluded that if you live in Yellowknife, surely, you must go camping, and you must enjoy the outdoors. And why on earth, why would you live here if you don't even know how to put up a tent, if you've not been out camping before? I mean, Lecter, we were almost quite indignant about it.
Yeah, I mean, I will blame it 100% on you because you showed us a video of a BBC reporter in Siberia, of course, who you said he's been the Moscow or Russia correspondent for the BBC for, 15 years?
Yeah, donkey's years, for a long time.
So, you would think that at least one story in the history of that time would have led him out into some kind of wilderness, and he would have perhaps at least touched a tent, let alone, set one up himself and slept in it overnight.
Even if it wasn't a work gig, you would think in the course of 15 years in Russia, you might have decided to go camping once or go see a park.
Yeah, there's so much room, so much wilderness in Russia that you think you'd embrace that perhaps, and
but no,
maybe go out and spend a night or two camping.
But he hadn't done it, and in the middle of this video, this behind-the-scenes video filming in Siberia, and there were enough issues with this video, we won't recap them, it's on yesterday's podcast, there was this one line where he looks at the camera and quite plainly says, I have never put up a tent in my life before. Yeah. And you look at it and go, Steve, you're in at least your mid-50s.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
And from the start of the video to the end of the video, it really just resembles a Hidden Lake camping trip, a portage into Hidden Lake. You got the mud bog part, you're putting on your mosquito jacket. He's making a big thing out of all of it, and we're just like, yeah, that's a weekend in Yellowknife.
It's a Yellowknife weekend. And so we ended by saying, surely if you live in Yellowknife, we put out the call to say, hey, there must be people in Yellowknife who have never camped, never put up a tent. Can't imagine who they'd be. Mystery to us. But we put the call out. One person responded to that call, Lecter. That person is Jay Bear. He is the host of Home to the Cabin every afternoon, 4 till 6 on Cabin Radio, and he had this to say.
They're talking about me. It's me. I was trying to think about it. I don't know that I've ever... I think I have slept in a tent, but even that, I think it was in a backyard. I am not the tenting... I'm not a camper. I don't like it. Why did I pick Yellowknife? I came here for a job. That's why. But camping and tents and okay. So here's the thing. I'm a very fussy sleeper. Even on a mattress, I toss and turn. On the ground, I'm just asking to be in pain. On the first night for the rest of the weekend or the week or however long you're camping, I would be in pain that entire time. And when I am not well slept, I get grumpy. grumpy. And so now I'm in pain and grumpy. That's a lot of fun to be around. I'm not a big fan of bugs. I know nobody likes bugs, but I actually kind of hate it. It kind of drives me a little bit. I go a little crazy. I go a little squirrely with the bugs buzzing around my ear. I lose it a little bit. So no, I don't want to. I've never touched a tent. I've never had to set up a tent. I don't think I would do well at it. What can I tell you? It's just not my thing. I don't understand the joy that people find in it. Let's go out into the wilderness with no, accommodations and no comforts, and we'll call that a good time because nature's so beautiful. All right, I'll go for a drive. I'll see beautiful nature, and then I'll go home and sleep in my bed. That's exactly what I do.
J-Bear there, recording yesterday's Home to the Cabin while being pursued by a helicopter gunship.
Very composed, considering.
Cabin radio and the occasional technical difficulties. You got the gist, though. He has a point. I don't sleep very well camping at all.
Right.
I have this thing where I wake up completely with a cramp in one hip and thigh or the other, depending which side I'm sleeping on.
Yeah.
And have to do this whole kind of orchestrated. It's almost like a small winch is required to sort of lift me up and then sort of heave myself around to the other side while trying to not disturb other people as best I can, and then just gently ease myself back down. That'll get me another hour of sleep on that side until that side says, "No, this is horrible. Please put me back." And then I just basically rotate like some kind of rotisserie camper overnight until eventually I am fully cooked by morning. And indeed, I'm usually a little grumpy, and it's a bit stuffy in the tent come the morning. Then you unzip the inner sort of, you look out, and there are 75 mosquitoes politely lined up just on the outer fly of the tent, waiting patiently. And you do think to yourself, why am I doing this? But I then ease my way back into it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is kind of, it sounds weird to say, given the picture you just painted, but that is kind of the point of camping, is removing yourself from creature comforts. Now, I mean, there are obviously things you can do while you're camping to make yourself a little more comfortable, like an air mattress. Nobody sleeps on the ground anymore. Even if you're doing, a portage, you're taking minimal equipment and that sort of thing. There are these beautiful little sleeping mats that just they're super thin, but they fill up nicely with air, and it feels like you're just on, a big thick air mattress that you really didn't need to bring. It's there are very sneaky ways to stay comfortable during a camping trip. I'm still figuring it out myself. But at the same time, yeah, you're right, and Jay Bear's right. I do get it, because I've been to Hidden Lake a couple times now, and there is always at least one point in that portage, which by and large is not the most laborious portage in the world as far as camping trips go. But there's always at least one point where I'm just like, why am I doing this? What am I just kidding myself that I enjoy what is going on right now? It's usually at the point where you realize that your entire elbow is just mulch because of mosquito bites. Usually around that time. And you're sweating. You probably have stepped in a mud puddle. Your, sock is soggy. You're thinking, I could be doing at least a few other things right now that would, it would be just as fulfilling. I'd be just as happy. But then there is that point that you reach where you're just kind of thankful that you are removed from technology. You're switched off. You don't have to worry about really anything that's going on other than your own survival. There's no existential threat sort of thing going on. It's kind of nice.
You say there's no existential threat. I mean, that if you've met the Canadian wilderness. Now, camping in the UK is great because there's genuinely no existential threat.
You've wiped them all out.
Absolutely nothing's getting you, because humans won that battle a long, long time ago. Wolves, see ya. Bears, done. Now we've got, occasionally particularly randy sheep, and they are really the biggest thing to worry about.
Right.
Badgers with step ladders.
I mean, nowadays we have this thing called fire that creates a thing called smoke that generally keeps wildlife away.
Okay.
It does a reasonably good job.
Okay.
Other than that, You just kind of make noise. And it's nice because you don't necessarily have to worry about disturbing your neighbors.
Yeah, to me, this is still very much an existential threat. I go out into the wilderness here to face the existential threat. And this actually comes to what I was going to say in response to all of that, which is that there was definitely a tipping point for me, and I think it maybe even came this year, where I crossed the line between my initial experience of camping and going outdoors in the NWT, which for the first few years of living here was very much about testing myself and being adventurous. I mean, like, well, I should go out and do this because it's what other people are doing.
Yeah.
But of course, over time, you do it enough times that you're like, well, okay, I've done this now. And you reach a tipping point where, do I now stop doing this because I've had that adventure and I've demonstrated that I can survive in the wilderness in the NWT for a night in a plush tent and just go back home and carry on doing what I was doing?
I've passed the test. Nothing about that was fun.
Right.
But I've graduated.
Or do I actually now enjoy this enough to make this a feature of my summers?
Right.
Despite the fact that I've been there and done that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been to Hidden Lake. Do I like this experience enough to go back to Hidden Lake because I just enjoyed the experience of being there rather than, having my little Neil Armstrong moment of, one small step for Ollie, one giant leap into Hidden Lake. So, and I think this summer I actually realized that, yes, I like this.
I mean, you bought a canoe, so I would hope that was your end conclusion.
That was the crowning moment of the, yes, I like this discovery process of realizing, no, I want to have a canoe.
Yeah.
And I want to have more of those experiences, and I want to do more lakes, and I want to get to more places and portage more things, and therefore I must, at some primordial level, like portaging a canoe enough to put up with it to go and explore more and do more things.
It's kind of, no, not to get too preachy or anything.
This is going to be good.
It's a bit of a metaphor for life in general.
Uh-oh.
Anything worth doing is worth putting in a little work for.
Ugh.
You kind of got to trudge through the mud to get to the oasis.
Yeah.
You got some oasis queued up?
Sadly, no. Elvis, close enough. But
Graceland. There we go.
There you go. Jailhouse Rock. But no, you see, now that you put it that way, does anybody want to buy a canoe? Because you're just making
ruined it for you.
You're making it character building.
Yeah,
I don't want to build character. I built enough character. This is all the character I need to get through the rest of life.
Fair. I don't know if we could handle more character from you.
Exactly. Nobody needs that. I've maxed out. So yeah, I just want to. I don't know. I don't want to go out canoeing and feel like I'm enjoying a metaphor for life. I want to escape all of that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, though, I'm there, and I get why J Bear is where J Bear is, because I think there's a fine margins in this game, and I think if the coin flip had landed the other way, I would probably have said, yeah, you know what? It looks lovely out there. Send me some photos. I will stick to camping in expensive lodges with beautiful, beautiful beds.
Either way, it's always fun to poke the bear a little bit.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast was recorded before a sort of live, thankfully not in the studio, audience.
8:01 and 9 degrees here in Yellowknife, and it is a little bit overcast. Even if you are the most dedicated camping devotee, today may not be the day. We do have support for Mr. J Bear's views coming in from fellow cabin radio host Kevin McDonald, who says, I'm with Jay on this one, lived here almost 9 years, haven't set up a tent once, hate mosquitoes, want a warm bed, and would much rather be in a lodge someplace. And I got sympathy with that, Lecter. I got sympathy with that. Hello to Sarah, by the way, who's also joined us.
Oh, hello. I can scooch forward a bit here.
If you could.
Good scooching.
Good scooching.
Is this far enough up?
It's an outdoor skill.
I have camped a lot this summer.
You have camped a lot this summer. Well, I feel like, let's talk a little bit about your transformation. I feel like if we spoke to the Sarah Price of, 5-6 years ago, how much outdoor experience?
I've always done a lot of camping.
Yeah?
But it's been more so car camping. And, I've canoed, but it was usually kind of just around the lake, just around the island the cabin is on. This summer, though, I have definitely leveled up.
Well, yeah,
Ooh.
I mean, let's discuss. How would you describe that leveling up? I mean, your main trek this summer was
The Nahanni.
Yeah, that was quite some leveling up. That was an unguided 14-person 2-week canoe trip.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think that's more than just one level up.
Yeah.
And we did Hidden Lake, we did Boundary Creek, we did a canoe course.
Where's Boundary Creek?
Up towards Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got past it on the highway.
Half an hour down the highway, I'd say.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we put in there and paddled upstream for a couple hours and then stayed overnight for a night or two and came back.
And so I was talking about 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, about the tipping point that I had, maybe even this year, when I crossed the line from I'm going out and doing this because it's an adventure and I want to prove I can do it, to I'm going out and doing this because I actually genuinely like doing this. Did you have such a tipping point where you were like, no, actually, like the Nahanni, Boundary Creek, Hidden Lake, like these are all things I actively want to do rather than just going and experiencing?
I think I haven't gone home the last couple summers, and I've definitely missed that aspect of kind of going outside, doing a bunch of things. So I really wanted to make up for it this summer, and now that I'm staying in a place and I know I'm not going to be moving, I'm kind of starting to collect some gear. Whereas when I lived in Fort Smith, a lot of my friends, only planned to also be there for a year or two, and no one really had any of that outdoor gear, so it was a lot more difficult for us to go and do things like this.
I mean, that's an interesting point, actually, hey, like you need the gear. Like, to actually really get,
absolutely,
you can borrow and sort of scrape around a little bit when you actually start, but the more gear you get.
Yes. And like high quality gear as well.
Yeah.
And I think you learn that as you go along. I think maybe you go through a few camping trial runs where things don't go quite according to plan. Maybe you bring an air mattress and you find out when you go to pump it up that it has a hole in it because it was some low quality on sale brand that you bought and thought, yeah, this should do. There's definitely something to be said that having the right gear makes a camping trip 1,000 times more enjoyable. I really enjoy, though, this narrative of hate mosquitoes.
This is Kevin's message.
As though anyone loves mosquitoes.
They do bother some people more than they bother other people.
Yeah, I had an uncle who just, he got bit by mosquitoes, but they didn't leave, they didn't itch or anything. He would just, it was like he was just at, some kind of monk. Like, he was just at peace with these chaotic little bugs just feasting on him. Did not bother him at all. I'm the complete opposite. My dad is even worse. He just loses his mind when there's mosquitoes in the vicinity. But you take a little mosquito repellent bath and you go on with your day.
Yeah, and I probably am a little bit more bothered by mosquitoes than most on my skin is anyway. But yeah, you kind of get used to it. Like you say, I don't think anybody necessarily goes out into the wild because they love mosquitoes. They roll up a sleeve and they invite them all. Pull up a chair, lads.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Help yourselves.
I know you've got stories. Let's hear them all at once.
You're right about that, but I get what Kevin is saying. That there comes a point where you sufficiently dislike mosquitoes that the idea of going out and spending days on end in the wilderness alongside them is a deal breaker.
But then you're letting them win.
We can't let them win.
We can't let them win.
Okay.
No, and we've got the dragonflies on our side, and then you get to witness a nice little nature war. The dragonflies versus the mosquitoes. I know which side I'm on.
Okay, so we've done summer here. I think everybody in the room is verging on hipster again and being all like, "Oh, summer, yeah, we won't let the mosquitoes win." Ugh. But now what about winter? We're coming into winter here. Has your enthusiasm for summer translated sufficiently into winter? Will you be right back
camping?
out there? Well, the winter outdoor activities, do you consider yourself to be sufficiently, as comfortable and as expert getting out there in winter as you are in summer?
Oh, we're going skiing together this winter, bro.
Oh, we?
Oh, yeah.
I'm really excited for that.
Without question.
Okay, because I'm terrible.
Yeah.
I can barely stand up on skis. You know that.
That's fine. I've never seen you ski, so.
Have you ever skied?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In Fort Liard.
Okay.
When I was in Fort Liard and my existence was basically to come up with recreation stuff for the kids each day, we did a bunch of cross-country skiing. They got me on skis for the first time, and I was a source of great comfort to the local 6-year-olds because I would be at the back with them, and we'd all just be falling over one after the other. And I think it encouraged them greatly to see that you could actually reach your late 20s and still be incompetent at this, and it wouldn't hold you back in other facets of life.
That was nice of you.
Yeah. No, I think I like to think I broadened some horizons back there. But I wouldn't necessarily say that endowed me with a competency in skiing. As a result, I was also using equipment that was just whatever was kicking around.
I was going to ask
probably
about that,
not, probably not the world's greatest. Although I feel like that's a bad workman always blames their tools, don't they?
Right.
So I don't think that's an excuse to hide behind. But this year absolutely is the year that I have committed to learning how to cross-country ski competently enough that other people can put up with skiing with me.
I'm a very patient skier.
You're going to have to be.
Yeah. Nah, no worries. We will we'll do the Burwash Trail, Frame Lake. There's often a nice little groomed trail around there. That's a nice little starting point. And the ski club, which I just discovered for myself this past year when they did when COVID hit and they were offering free ski club memberships to people. Went for the first time, blown away. Cannot wait to go back.
Yep, really excited for learning to ski this winter. I've also got snowshoes kicking around. I used to love a good snowshoe, and I haven't been out for a little while. I mean, I say, like, obviously I realize summer has come, and that really put a can on my snowshoeing ambitions. But
Right.
even in the last couple of years, I haven't really been out that much. But I have also loved a good snowshoe in the past.
Snowshoeing is one where I kind of understand where the naysayers come from, because essentially it just feels like you're just walking around on deep snow, which I guess is a novelty that you're not sinking into it. But I've never really got the appeal of snowshoeing myself.
Again, to hark back to my Fort Liard days, which I always seem to rely on as like my most Canadian experiences. And like, look, I've survived in the wild when I was just living in a very comfortable trailer. There was a trail that ran up from the Liard River along the confluence of the Petitot River that runs into Fort Liard. And that trail would get super, super snowy, and not that many people used it. So snowshoes were great to actually break that trail when you go out in winter. And it was such a cool little trip to do that sold me on snowshoeing.
Right.
And I haven't really found anywhere to do it in Yellowknife that quite matches that experience. Also, that's where I discovered that huskies will be the laziest dogs on earth if you let them. Because we would take our friends' dogs out for dog walks along that little trail on the Petitot River. And these two ultra-fit, super sleek huskies would just duck in behind us snowshoeing and breaking trail, and would just plod along at a snail's pace behind us, letting us do all the hard work of breaking the trail. You're like, you guys are huskies, get out there, break some of this trail. They were just like, nope. And we'd just do the whole like hour and a half walk in single file behind us breaking trail.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are the worst dogs. What is even the point? But yeah, snowshoeing's on my list as well. So I would gladly accept locations for fun snowshoeing around Yellowknife. Would be a good thing to have. And yeah, come skiing with me this winter. If anyone listening, enjoys skiing with incompetence, please come help me out this winter, because I'm going to need a bit of support with that, and I'm excited for it.
I want to go snowshoeing this winter now just to see Penny attempt to break trail.
She would not. No. Have you seen that dog?
Just lose
she
her
is
in the snowbank.
Far lazier than a husky.
She's also 1'4", which she's going to need a periscope and some sort of rudimentary rocket technology to be able to break trail.
It'd be so cute, just dolphin jumping in and out of the snow.
Yeah, in I could see. Back out, I feel like might be more of a stretch. You might have to bring a small ladder.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
Mornings inside a cabin and not in a tent. It is 8:37 on your Thursday morning. 9 degrees outside, overcast grey, generally miserable. Inside, it is nice and bright and warm and lovely, largely because of the radiant smiles of Lecter, AJ, and Sarah, who joined me. I'm Ollie. Hello, everybody. One more break before I leave you in the capable hands of 90s at 9. And we turn to AJ, who has strolled into the studio and hasn't stopped banging on about a wall tent for the last few months, but in a break from the norm this morning, came in and asked, what was the question, AJ?
What is Twitch?
What is Twitch? Oh,
and mainly, what is the point?
Welcome to 30. How's that working out for you so far?
Well, I'm a little confused so far.
Oh, my
it
goodness.
goes that way.
Seriously, less than a week into it and already asking questions that have a whole generation shaking their heads. So, Twitch is a way to, largely speaking, I mean, you can do what you like on Twitch. It's a streaming service. It allows you to stream video. Most people use it to stream themselves playing video games.
Okay, more like a YouTube thing or like a live, or both?
Well, I mean, you can do it on YouTube as well, but it is essentially an equivalent of YouTube or using Facebook Live, things like that. But Twitch has carved out a niche in the market as being where you go to watch pro video gamers or just your friends streaming themselves playing video games, which is a big business. And I do follow a couple of pro video gamers, and I kind of enjoy they'll share funny clips of themselves getting into ridiculous scrapes while playing certain video games that I would never play, like Call of Duty. And I enjoy kind of just checking in with that, but I'm not the kind of person that could sit down and watch someone else play a video game for any length of time.
Why do you ask, AJ?
Well, I asked because a friend of mine went on Facebook and said, hey, come check me out on Twitch. I'm in this, it was Call of Duty or Modern Warfare or something like that.
That's the same thing. Yeah.
Same thing? Okay.
Oh, sorry. No, go on.
He's not a video game guy.
So he
Leave
was-
him alone.
That's adorable.
He's a wall thing guy.
I'm a wall
That's
thing guy,
right.
yeah. So he was in a tournament. So he said, yeah, come check me out on Twitch.
Okay.
So I've noticed we actually have, my roommate must have downloaded it. We have the app on our Apple TV.
Thank God for E-Man, eh?
Yeah. So we went on there, and I went to his profile, and sure enough, there was a live video of him playing this game, and it was just him playing this game. I was like, what's the point of this? I couldn't see him. I could kind of hear him in the background with some other weird noises. I'm pretty sure it was like the people in the game talking to him.
Right.
But I was like, oh, his friends sound weird. Like they sound a little German. And
they're making a lot of threats.
Yeah, they're really mean and demanding. I couldn't really hear what he was saying. He just he would come down from this helicopter and get shot.
Yeah.
And that was the whole thing. I was like, what? Why would you invite me here? And then when he dies, he just you just sit around, you're just watching a lobby screen for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Until he eventually starts falling out of the plane again.
That's Call of Duty's version of heaven.
Oh.
You're in heaven, you just got to...
That's a nightmare.
You got to wait
inside of a cargo plane.
Yeah, you don't want to die.
Yeah, with some weird characters. There was a cowboy and then some sort of a S&M kind of character.
Whoa.
It was a full leather... I don't know. That was this is one of the weirdest things I've watched on TV. And I just didn't get it.
So you entered a whole new dimension, basically.
Kind of. I'm like, this takes me back to when I was in the 8th grade. And I was like, hey, man, you want to go biking? They'd be like, oh, yeah, let me just finish this thing on Diablo. And 3 hours later, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm just going to go home. This was fun. Good hanging out.
But now imagine that you could go on a live streaming service and watch someone discussing the machinations of wall tent construction in real time.
Yeah, it's called YouTube.
Yeah. Would you be into it?
Yeah. I guess I've watched some videos.
So there's some people for whom, with this, the whole of Mornings at the Cabin this week is just an existential discussion of what makes you motivated in life.
Yeah.
We've done outdoors versus, camping versus nice comfy beds. Now we're into, do you want to watch other people play games or do you want to watch stuff about wall tents? And you've just gone a bit wall tent there instead of other people go Call of Duty.
But would there be a whole app around that? You know what I mean? This whole thing is gaming, right? You don't use it for anything else?
No, you could do if you wanted to. You could Twitch wall tents. Please do. Honest to God, I'm sure at least one other human being cares as much.
I'll invite you guys.
Stitch!
Yeah.
Hey!
That's great. Okay. Well, sure. It would be the first form of social media I'd use regularly, but yeah, okay.
You're not on... you're on Facebook.
I'm on Instagram and Facebook,
yeah.
but if you look how many
yourself
times,
a little credit.
Once a year, I'll maybe put up hey, my dog's missing.
Yeah.
You even started watching TikTok.
Yeah.
Have you deleted
right.
Did you delete it again?
No. I
still
have
got it?
Yeah.
Just because we have a Cabin Radio TikTok.
Well, Trump's going to take it away from you.
I like to go on there and learn about the North.
Yeah.
Emily does little fun facts about the North. I actually really like those.
You know what? That is pretty cute. They're really cool. You should check out Cabin Radio on TikTok. We're not on Twitch yet, but it sounds like nobody else is either, unless you want to watch video games. AJ, thank you for sharing that. Thank you to Lecter. Thank you to Sarah this morning as well. On tomorrow's show, things are not what they used to be. How to get children off your lawn, and ow, my hip hurts.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.